Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? I am Dan from Trading with Dan. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we are attempting, that's the daily, sorry, Bitcoin on the 4-hour. We are attempting to try and get back trying to get back above this resistance area. Obviously, we've not even actually tested into the zone yet, but as you can see, we are pushing up there. Obviously that's good to see. But like we always talk about, this could be a forward check, a back check, and a paycheck. Obviously, we are getting a decent pump in the stock markets here, as you can see. S&P is actually looking to try and get above its respective important resistance level, and is obviously doing a better job currently than Bitcoin is. It has put in a nice higher, well, it is trading higher than these highs here basically, and has wick just about above the top of the resistance zone. So yeah, Bitcoin getting dragged up. Say dragged up, I mean, we've talked about this before, getting dragged up by stock markets, but obviously there's just a general more of a risk appetite, and all these markets are correlated. That is basically driving us up. However, we can see that from this move here, Bitcoin is struggling to get above its respective resistance area, where stock market's doing a better job. If stock markets do get above here and then continue upwards, then yeah, certainly Bitcoin has a good shot of getting through here. So that is good to see. If we want to have a look at some other charts, also the dollar index. If we kind of drew a trend line in, you can, like here, you can kind of see we are breaking below it now. So is this gonna give us the first real pull? I guess this is a real pullback. Our first real pullback that ultimately gives us a lower low. We shall see. If it does, then yeah, expect all sorts of rallies in risk assets if we basically come back down and take out this low. That's basically the Goldilocks scenario for us at the moment. But hey, the trend is still bullish. So obviously the trend is your friend. 10-year easing off slightly as well, but still clearly above 3%. It's basically 3.25%. So yeah, obviously we want this to pull back. You could draw a similar trend line that we are basically just about testing. So not really through it here at all yet. Just about testing. So if we draw that trend line in, probably draw it all the way from down here actually. If we draw this trend line in, this could be if this does basically break, then yeah, then we could see a move down. And that, what would be nice is that we have seen lower lows in this yield, and we have if this is the high, or if we just don't take out these highs, we would have seen a lower high also, which is clearly more constructive than what we're seeing. It's more constructive for risk assets than what we're seeing in the bond market, at least. So in the dollar index. So yes, what else do we want to look at? Let's have a look at oil. Obviously, there has been some big basically margin calls and people puking positions that are along this whole commodity trade, which is obviously good to see. It's good to see the speculative money coming out of this, because the speculative money is just driving up real inflation for us all. So to see that come out and come back down and take its losses on its positions, just for some of them anyway, not all of them, yeah, that is good. And then obviously we've done good technical damage to this chart now. So realistically we could be seeing a move down towards the 60 handle. At which point it's going to be good for risk assets, put it that way. It just will be good for risk assets just from an inflation perspective, which is the main worry of main concern of markets. Recession isn't the main concern of basically appreciating risk asset prices. The main concern is inflation, and then what the Fed is going to do. So even if we fall into a recession, we could expect forward-looking risk assets to actually already have bottomed and turn higher. Yeah, just something to think about there. What else do we want to look at? Yeah, let's look at the Euro USD. Just about parity. But a long way from this trend line, a long way from any sort of bullish price action. But ultimately, it will have to break bullish. There is obviously a Eurozone interest rate decision today. I think it's 0.75 that they're looking for there as well. Similar to what is getting priced in for the US also. So we shall see. We have got that very important CPI number next week as well. So if that does come in good, i.e. lower, then and if it does come a bit lower than expected, because obviously remember markets pricing in a lower number. So if it comes in even lower than that, then we could be all systems go. So now let's have a look. Yeah, for stochastics, 4 hour turning up, and obviously got a decent amount of room to run to the upside. 12 hour looking to turn back up yet again. So yeah, turning back up here. 12 hour could give us some upward momentum. Daily looking to turn back from a very low level, which is good to see. Bi-daily is turning up from a low level, which is obviously good to see. 3-day not quite turned back up yet. Then 5-day diving, weekly freshly turned down, bi-weekly, well, there or thereabouts at a low level, and monthly at a low level. So ultimately, medium to long term, if this does get going, does get back above 20, just make moves towards well, longer term towards 30,000, and then we potentially pull back from 30,000 and just put in a nice higher low relative to these lows here. It could be I mean, we could be at the start of a new bull run. Put it that way. Obviously we've got the Ethereum merge catalyst, which is obviously playing out more so in this chart here, just Ethereum versus BTC. As you can see, looking very bullish here, looking very good. The USD value is nicely above this resistance and support, which, to be honest, whilst it has been an important level, it doesn't seem to be at present really paying much attention to it. But nonetheless, to be above it, I'd rather be above it than below it. And then yeah, we take out this next level above here, which is obviously a pretty significant resistance area, quite a bit higher. Then yeah, we could be seeing that nice move to 2K. And I honestly don't see why you wouldn't see $2,000 Ethereum in like the next week. Well, do I want to say week? Next week, maybe two. I don't see why I couldn't, unless we just get like more downward action in stock markets. Bitcoin dominance back down here into testing this major support, but this is a very big range for it to pull into. So yeah, plenty of room for that to maneuver to the downside. So yeah, things generally speaking are potentially are looking a little bit better. Stock markets were looking absolutely dire, and I think one of the Fed speakers came out. I think it may have been Loretta or whatever her name is, basically saying some relatively more bullish full market statements, and that was why we kind of got this pump. So we do get above here, then ultimately price action is looking relatively constructive here to put in a low. Which would then be a higher low relative to these lows, and then we can gun for a higher high. But obviously it's early days. But if we do this, then yeah, I mean onwards and upwards in our nice Ponzi risk asset prices. So yeah, that is pretty much it, guys. Remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.